Iga Swiatek's controversial behavior comes to light ahead of her Cincinnati Open clash with 54th ranked player. Iga Swiatek is deep into a gripping second act. After months without a trophy since the 2024 French Open, she returned to the spotlight in the grandest way possible by winning Wimbledon. It was the kind of win that felt like a spark. But the path to this point hasn't been empty. Even without titles earlier this year, Swiatek came close on several occasions. Now back on hard courts, her upcoming match brings a familiar face and a reminder of her past dominance. She has beaten this opponent decisively before, but it's not just the scoreline people remember from that time. Iga Swiatek's sportsmanship has been a talking point more than once. Some players have complained about her habit of holding up a racket to slow down play when returning serve. At the semi-final of the Australian Open, she took a long toilet break before Madison Keys' serve and followed it with shadow warm-ups just as Keys was ready to start. Her feud with Danielle Collins is also well known. Last year at the Olympics, Collins had to retire due to illness during their match, and at the net, told Swiatek she felt the Pole was being insincere about her illness. Now in Cincinnati, Swiatek's schedule shifted unexpectedly. She was due to face world number 25 Marta Kostyuk in Monday's third-round action, but the Ukrainian withdrew with a right wrist injury. That gave the world number 3 a direct pass to the round of 16, where Sorana Cîrstea, the 54th-ranked WTA player, will be waiting. The memory most fans have of her meetings with Swiatek comes from Doha in 2024. In that match, Swiatek barely gave Cîrstea room to breathe, winning 6-1, 6-1 in just over an hour. The post-match interview seemed routine, with the Pole talking about her 90th week as world number 1 and how she would spend her free time in Qatar. She didn't make any comments about her opponent, something that's not unusual in tennis interviews. According to Sport.pl, one Romanian outlet published a piece titled "Swiatek Showed Arrogance After the Match Against Cîrstea." Tennis expert Alexander Takina criticized her, saying the Polish woman decided not to comment on her rival, as is usually the case at tennis tournaments. Swiatek showed a lack of politeness, not to mention her rival. Instead, she talked about the record she continues to break, but also about what she will do in her spare time in Doha after winning against Cîrstea. He added that she did not want to comfort Sorana. While the accusations gained traction in some corners, Cîrstea herself never said she felt disrespected. The two later faced off in Madrid this year with the same 6-1, 6-1 result and appeared to be on cordial terms. With their Cincinnati meeting set, attention shifts back to the tennis itself. Beyond this match, Iga Swiatek is keeping her sights firmly on the U.S. Open, and she has a notable name backing her. Former WTA star picks Iga Swiatek as her U.S. Open favorite. Former world number 24 and British number 1 Annabel Croft shared her pick during Sky Sports' Cincinnati Open coverage. Instead of going with the defending champion and world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, she chose Iga Swiatek. "I'm actually going with Swiatek just after the way she won Wimbledon," Croft said. "I think it's given her a big boost again, and she's back." Croft, who won the Australian Open and Wimbledon junior singles titles in 1984, knows what it takes to win on the big stage. She believes Swiatek can lift her second U.S. Open crown, adding more weight to the expectations around the pole. The 23-year-old's history in New York already has a highlight. She claimed her first U.S. Open title in 2022, beating Ons Jabeur 6-2, 7-6 in the final. Last year, she fell in the quarterfinals to eventual finalist Jessica Pegula. With Wimbledon in her pocket and momentum on her side, Iga Swiatek enters Cincinnati and the U.S. Open stretch as a dangerous contender. The spotlight is fixed on her again, both for her tennis and the conversations around her. The warm Cincinnati air seemed to shimmer above the hard courts, carrying with it a buzz that wasn't entirely about tennis. Iga Swiatek, world number 2 and one of the most consistent forces on the WTA Tour, was preparing for her next match, a seemingly straightforward contest against the 54th-ranked Sorana Cîrstea. But this time, the chatter wasn't about forehands and first serve percentages. It was about behavior. In the days leading up to the clash, clips, whispers, and op-eds began to swirl. For years, Swiatek had built an image of discipline, calm in the eye of the storm. But now, the storm itself seemed to be following her. A rally of rumors. It started innocently enough. A video from a prior match showing Swiatek pausing midpoint, raising her racket, and stepping back as her opponent readied to serve. Some said she was simply regaining focus. Others called it a deliberate ploy to break her rival's rhythm. The debate caught fire because it wasn't an isolated case. Observers began digging, pointing to similar moments in other tournaments: extra seconds between points, slow towel walks, and the occasional extended glance at the box, as if orchestrating a pause in the action. It's competitive edge, not disrespect, her fans argued. Critics countered, it's gamesmanship plain and simple. The umpire's warning. The heat intensified after an earlier Cincinnati round when chair umpire Iga Swiatek issued a firm reminder. Is not your time. You were stood there for another 5 to 7 seconds for no reason. Swiatek, visibly caught off guard, nodded, but the exchange replayed endlessly online. For her supporters, it was proof that even the best can lose track of the clock in high-stakes moments. For detractors, it was another mark in an emerging pattern. The ball kid controversy. Then there was Indian Wells. It had been a draining semifinal against the young Mira Andreeva, the sun beating down, the tension as taut as the strings on her racket. Mid-frustration, Swiatek flicked a ball aside, too close for comfort to a ball kid stationed at the net. She apologized immediately, explaining afterward that fatigue had clouded her control. Still, for those already skeptical, the incident became part of a growing dossier. The chilly handshake. If there's one moment tennis fans treasure, it's the handshake, or hug, at the net, a ritual of mutual respect after the battle. In Stuttgart, following a tough loss to Jelena Ostapenko, Swiatek's handshake was brisk. No smile, no eye contact, just a brief touch and a quick turn away. Cold, one commentator remarked. Understandable, another countered. She's a competitor. Losses sting. Swiatek in the crosshairs. The 54th-ranked Sorana Swiatek was no stranger to big stages herself. A hard-hitting veteran, she knew the mental layers of tennis just as well as the physical. In fact, in previous matchups, Swiatek had shown a knack for unsettling higher-ranked opponents with her fearless baseline play. For her, the headlines about Swiatek's behavior were both irrelevant and telling. I don't care about what's written, she told Romanian media before the match. I care about my game plan. But the subtext was impossible to ignore. In sports, perception can shape pressure, and Swiatek might just see an opportunity to turn media noise into mental advantage.